Hello, dear students. Welcome back again to my channel. We are currently discussing the outsiders, the dynasties which were actually, the original inhabitants of Central Asia that came from Central Asia and other areas and invaded India and then ruled India for some years. Okay. So, indigenous dynasties we are already discussing. Some of them we have already discussed. Now we are following this kind of sequence like we have already discussed Indo Greeks. And after this, we will now discuss Shakas later, Parthians, and we will end with Kushans. Okay, Kushans will be our last topic. Okay, so how actually these Shakas arrived in India? This is an interesting episode. See, actually, Shakas were the original inhabitants of Central Asia. From exactly where Central Asia? In Iran. Okay, so Iranian tribesmen were they, and they lived in Iran, present day Iran, and but what actually happened? The other important kind of dynasties or tribesmen at the time were this Yuchi tribe that later became or took the form of Kushans. Okay, and I obviously expect you to know these things, but I will kind of revise this. These Kushans actually belong to this Yuchi tribe. They were presently only living there. Okay, they pushed them. They kind of forcefully pushed them away from their from Central Asia, and they kind of became constrained and started invading India. Okay, now, what were the most important branches of Scythians or Shakas? So the most two important branches were Western branch and Northern branch. But if we will sum up the total number of branches, there were five branches. Okay, so this is the western part of Shakas. Okay, and this is near the coast of Gujarat, and this is the northern part of Scythians. Okay, now as they came to India, so who was the first ruler? And who defeated kind of Indo-Greeks? It was King Maes. Okay, it was King Maes, or he is also called King Moga. Okay, he did not defeat them entirely, but kind of took some territories from them. Okay, now it kind of marked the beginning of Shaka era or Saka era. Okay, and these five branches that in these shakas were divided into were this Punjab area with the capital Takshila, Afghanistan area that belonged to western part, and western India which was near Gujarat as I already told you, and the upper Deccan area. Okay, near Ujjain. Okay, actually Ujjain was the capital of Shakas at that time. So these were the five important branches that were they present during the time of Shakas. Okay, now, what are the important episodes of this King Maes or Moga? He's supposed to have issued many copper coins, and the copper coins are famous for their scripts and language that were written on them. And also, he issued some silver coins, but they were fewer in number. But the maximum number were copper coins, and the language was interesting that was written on them. Okay, so the language that was on them was Greek, and there was also this Kharoshti script that was present. Okay, and it is seen that also there were some images of some deities that were related to Buddhism and Hinduism, which also shows the religious influence and kind of religious penetration during the time of Scythians. Okay, now what about this Kharoshti script and this King Moga, the two episodes or the two important evidences that were found on this important thing that was known as Takshila copper plate? It actually had many information about this Kharoshti script and about this King Maes or Moga. Okay, so after Moga or Maes came the King Aziz first. Okay, and during his time he also started kind of territorial expansion, and he's also famous for this Aziz era, and he is supposed to be the one who has completely put an end to the Indo-Greek rule. Okay, now, after him, another important ruler was Aziz II, and then after Aziz II came this ruler known as Nahapanna. Okay, why is Nahapanna important? I will tell you, because he's known for starting, or he's known to have started these two important Shaka or kind of Saka Kshatrapa territories or dynasties. They were known as Shahratas. Okay, these two dynasties were known as Shahratas. Okay, and also it is in historical context that this Nahapanna was defeated once by Gautamiputra Satkarni, who belonged to Satvahana dynasty. Okay, then after this Aziz second came Chastana. Chastana is known by the kind of sites of this philosopher Ptolemy, that who called him with these names like Testhenes, or sometimes pronounced as Tiasthenes. Okay, and he's also believed to have started or instigated this Bhadramukhas dynasty, which is very important. Okay, now, who was the most important ruler when it comes to Shakas or the rule of Scythians? It was Rudradaman first. Okay, you have to remember his name because he has some of the important contributions when it comes to Scythians. And Rudradaman first is also known by the other name like Maka Kshatrapa. Okay, Maka Kshatrapa, and he's believed to be the greatest ruler of, and he's supposed to be the grandson of Nahapanna. Okay, now the important episode or the most important thing that you can note in this Rudradaman episode, that is the inscription of this Junagadh, that is also called Junagadh inscription, which is supposed to be the first inscription that is written in chaste Sanskrit. Okay, and before that the scripts that were commonly available were written in Prakrit. Okay, so this was the first script that was in the chaste Sanskrit. That's why it becomes very important. Okay, So where is this Junagadh inscription? It's actually in Kathiawad area of Gujarat. Okay, so from this Junagadh inscription, we also get some details about the relationship of this Vashishtiputra Satkarni and Rudradaman first, which I will discuss in the next slide. And also, which was the capital that time of the Sakas or Scythians? It was Ujjain. Okay, so now this episode of Sudarshan Lake is very important. I would like to tell you guys that Sudarshan Lake was actually built by Chandragupta's governor Pushyagupta Vaishya. Okay, and after it kind of got deteriorated, then it needed some kind of repairing, and this repairing was done by this person named as Suvishak. And so who was Suvishak? Suvishak actually was no one, but he was a kind of a worker who worked on the orders of Rudradaman. Okay, so on the orders of Rudradaman first, Suvishak repaired Sudarshan Lake, which is an important episode. Okay. And this Rudradaman first was believed to be a Hindu, and as he also married a Hindu woman. Okay. So, what other important things which I told you that I will be telling you, the episode of Vashishti Putra Satkarni and also the Rudradaman, they had a matrimonial alliance actually. What kind of a matrimonial alliance? Actually, Rudradaman's daughter was married to Vashishti Putra Satkarni. Okay, very important. Sometimes these kind of relations are being asked in the examinations. Okay. So just remember that his daughter was married to Vishishtiputra Satkarni. Also, there were the territorial conflicts going on between Satavahanas and Scythians. So in this Junagadh inscription, it is written and believed that they many times collided, and this Vishishtiputra Satkarni got defeated by Rudradaman first. But Rudradaman first again and again kind of spared his life. Because why he spared his life? Because he wanted to give respect to this matrimonial alliance, and in order to show a kind of respect and reverence to these families. Okay, that's why he always reinstated him and gave back his life. And this is it about. The matrimonial episode. And the other thing that is important in the time of Rudradaman was this Greek writer whose name was Yavanasvara. Yavanasvara actually was a Greek writer who is supposed to have written this book called Yavana Jatka, and not actually only written it, actually translated it from Greek to Sanskrit. Okay, he actually translated it from Greek to Sanskrit. So this Greek writer Yavanasvara is also believed to have lived during the time of Rudradaman first. Okay. So after this, actually the rule was wiped away completely during the time of Rudradaman III, but actually the decline started, in the multiple episodes. For example, at the first episode, the AZ second, during his time, he was defeated by Kushanas, and then later Gautami Putra Satkarni also defeated these Scythians, and later they were completely wiped off when the Rudradaman III was killed by Chandragupta II. Okay, so this is it about. Shakas or Scythians. I hope you have understood everything, and please subscribe my channel so that I get motivation to make such videos for you. And please appreciate my efforts by liking to these videos and share these videos as to as many people as possible, so that the every student gets benefit of it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.